Do you love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Do you love video games? Would you like to stop feeling that way about both? Introducing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the game. Fight your way through 6 levels using each of the iconic turtles, Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, and of course, Michelangelo. But not just with your standard katana, bow, sai, and nunchucks. You also get throwing stars, boomerangs, whatever that wave thing is. Low on health? Well, I hope you don't have a gluten allergy or lactose intolerance, because we've got pizza, which is good, because we also have electric kelp forests, endless enemies that make no sense, and jumping mechanics that make a grown man cry. All so you can fight your way through such iconic Ninja Turtle enemies as Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Mecha Turtle, Technodrome. Honestly, I forgot that thing was a thing, and I even owned the toy. Oh, and a T-Rex, or maybe a bird. Definitely something with laser eyes. I mean, it's only 6 levels. How hard could it actually be? I'm 1 second in.
Retro Recall.
Welcome back to Retro Recall, the show with more nostalgia than you can put on top of a pizza eaten by 4 turtles. Hey, this is the show where John makes me play a game from our youth that we haven't played in like decades, and then I issue him a challenge, and whoever loses the challenge has to play some sort of terrible game. But before we get to that, we talk about all the cool things and all the bad things and all the hilarious things about the game we're playing. So, John, what are we playing this week?
All right, this week, we took a little bit of a left turn. Instead of focusing on something, was it as good as we remembered? We're going with, was it really as hard as we remembered? And jumping into the one and the only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Nintendo.
Oh man, I loved Ninja Turtles, but this game, I think I still suffer some level of PTSD. I explained it on the last episode. I saved up all my money. I was like 10 years old or something. Saved up all my money. It was sold out everywhere. We were on vacation during the holidays. I finally found it in like a Kmart. I bought it. I had to wait 3 more days before we got back from vacation. I put it in and I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And it was one of the first things I saved up my own money for. And that felt real bad.
I'll be honest, there was a couple levels. As soon as it loaded, I got hit with PTSD. Oh no. Like, just looking at it was like, oh, this level. Oh no, I'm going to die. Like, it was literally that moment, like, oh God, I'm going to die.
Was it did it happen to be underwater?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
I don't even know what they were thinking about that one. But anyway, why don't you remind us about why we picked this game, other than it being terrifying.
All right, so let's go through the game itself. So it's a standard side-scrolling combat game in vein of like Castlevania, because this game it's one of the earlier Nintendo games that was not horrible graphics. You get to command all 4 turtles, and you can hot swap them whenever you want, which was really unique for the time. And each of them had different attack strength, speed, and range. And you have to rescue April, and then Splinter, and then defeat the evil leader of the Foot Clan, Shredder. Is Foot Clan a dumb name looking back on it? Yeah. Didn't occur to me until I was playing this. I was like, oh yeah. But this TV show ruled my childhood. And I'm not going to badmouth the TV show because I don't want Ninja Rap playing in my head on repeat forever. I believe that's what happens when you say bad things about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's what happens when you die and go to Ninja Turtle hell. Yes, that you have to play this game and you only can listen to Ninja Rap on repeat.
What we will cover today a lot is it was plagued with incomparable difficulty. In candor, I've actually never seen the end of this game until the playthrough I did for it, and that's because there's a thing called Game Shark. This is a life achievement for me.
A sneak attack! I've got secret facts for you because these are ninjas and they sneak up on you in the night, in the dark, and there's a secret fact. You know why they're called the Foot?
I have no idea why they're called the Foot.
Because Ninja Turtles was originally a comic book and it was way more gritty than the cartoon was, and it was based on Daredevil, and Daredevil fights the Hand, and And Daredevil got his powers by some sort of weird ooze on the street that he touched and made him blind, but he got other powers. Well, they were there too, is the idea. These little turtles happened to be there too, and they turned into ninjas. And also Master Splinter, Master Stick in Daredevil. There's all that. They were just pulling up using Daredevil.
I had no idea. I also never really read Daredevil's part of the issue there, but fascinating. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It has its
I do know. I've heard, again, I never read the comic books, but I've a lot of friends who did. And I've been told, the comic books were very gritty. It was very dark, and they actually, when
it was black and white,
out, they were like,
and then red. They added red to them at one point, so you could actually see blood and things like that. Yeah.
Let's just say the TV show was not.
I loved Ninja Turtles. I was super into. I was exactly the right age to be into Ninja Turtles. But this was like 1989. Can you take us back to? Yeah.
So the game. This is actually kind of a very fascinating release from a business standpoint. So the game was released in North America on June 12th of 1989. I believe it released in Japan a few months earlier. And this game is a bit of an odd one in hindsight, based on what is the insanely popular international TV hit, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, holy crap, popular. In 1989, we're 2 years into the show. We are at the peak of its popularity. The Ninja Turtles toys are the top selling toy in the US by a wide margin. This was the must-have Christmas gift.
Yeah.
And so just by calling it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they were destined to sell millions. Interesting fact, though, the game went into production in 1987 before the TV show even released.
That's what,
Konami, yeah.
I playing through it again, I was like, this feels like it was retrofitted from something else to have Ninja Turtles and stuff from the show in it. Because there's so much that doesn't match any of that stuff.
No, Konami had made a few games at this point. They wanted to make a game like a Castlevania. That's why I call it. That was their goal.
It feels almost kind of Ninja Gaiden-like, the way the characters jump and spin, especially like Leonardo with his sword. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same concept. And so they wanted to make this, and they happened to have a meeting with, companies are all connected with each other, and they got the pitch for Ninja Turtles, and they made it. It also explains, and we'll talk about it a lot of the units in the game make no sense. They do not exist in the cartoon at all. The game feels a lot more like they wrote a game and then inserted some pieces to it to make it a game. But then looking back, I realized it wasn't their fault. They were writing a game before the TV show had come out. So all that they had to build off of was they had Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, Mecha Turtle, and whatever the
Big Mouser was. Big Mouser thing. Yeah.
And so that's what they had to really work off of.
Right.
Well, at the Mouser, they had the
big tank thing. Yeah, with the eyeball on top.
Which actually was funny. I actually owned that toy. I realized I had to look it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I had that. This game's really interesting to me because of the fact that, Konami made this almost sight unseen from the TV show. They released 2 years later, and I do think it probably did harm it a little bit for some of the fan base of being like, hey, what's going on in this game? Why is there a flame guy? We'll get to more of that later, though.
Let's go even further back into the nostalgia. What was going on in like media and movies and stuff at the time?
All right, June of 1989. And I'm going to start off with the number one song in America with a very big, I'll Be Loving You Forever by New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
This was we go.
The late 80s boy band craze that happened before NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, kind of that got popular again like a decade later. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was your number one song in America. Now, the good news is for those of us with somewhat different musical tastes, right day before this, Bleach by Nirvana is released. Now, this is not Nevermind, but Bleach was the first big one they had out.
It was their first full album. Yeah, it was their first actual album release. Yeah.
And this starts pushing grunge out more. Again, it's more in the indie scene. It's not till Nevermind comes out that the whole globe discovers grunge, but it's moving. And then for me, more my genre, Operation Ivy releases the album Energy. This is quintessential record that effectively created the ska punk scene. So within a couple of weeks of each other, you have an album. Again, things have origins before. I'm not going to say that Bleach created grunge because I will get raged at in the comments.
But it was a formative part of it. Yeah.
Exactly. And same with Energy by Operation Ivy. This is what makes ska punk. The scene gets more better defined. A lot of bands are, not a lot of, endless numbers of bands were influenced by these albums. So great time. The same time, June 1989 is an incredible month for movies. We've got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because Rick
Classic.
Moranis is an international treasure. We all accept that, I hope.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 has released, which is another just incredible classic with lots of quotable lines. Dead Poets Society, a movie that, I mean, again, I was 8 when this came out, so I didn't watch it then. But even in high school, I saw it. I'm like, meh. Watched a few years ago and really kind of get it.
Well, wasn't this the one that made everyone realize that Robin Williams could be a dramatic actor, not just a comedian?
He'd done a few movies. This was his first big hit as a dramatic actor. Everyone realized this man has quite a lot of range. It's a very deep and well done movie. Unlike Deep and Well Done, you also had Star Trek V, which is not, the best of the Star Trek movies, but it's still quite good and has some cool pieces.
I don't even remember which one that is. I don't know.
Star Trek V. Yeah, no, Star Trek V is the one where it's not the time travel one. I know at the end, there's like...
It's not the one with the whale where they go back to San Francisco. Okay, that's 4.
That's 4. This is 5. This one was
the
actually
search for Spock? No, that was 3?
Nope,
I don't even
3.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, 5. Yeah. 5's not great. 5's the one where I think there's like a deity that they have to go kill, and it turns out the deity is actually Satan.
I guess I totally didn't see it, I guess, because I don't remember that at all.
I've seen it. I'm a big Star Trek person. I've seen it. And it's pretty good. It's just not something I when I was reading about it, I wasn't like, I should watch that again. Yeah. As opposed to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which released, again, it was technically in May, but Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. You gotta be kidding me. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they phoned in the second one. I've gone back and watched stuff about the different
Temple of Doom
movies.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom's pretty phoned in when you actually look at like what was going on behind the scenes. But this is where this is the return to form, right? This was the big one.
Yep.
And 3 are great. Everything else,
someone's hurt. But there's a much more important film that released in 1989, Batman, starring Michael Keaton. And we're talking Teenage Mutant. Yeah. Now, I think this is a really important one to talk about because we're talking Ninja Turtles here. Prior to the release of Batman, there had been no successful superhero movie outside of Superman.
Yeah. Superman 1 was definitive, but it was a whole decade before this.
Exactly. And we're looking at the superhero genre did not exist really in cinema. There was some TV shows. The Hulk obviously had a TV show. There was a really bad Captain America. Batman obviously had a TV show. This movie created the superhero movies. So big thank you to Michael Keaton for being awesome.
What are you? I'm Batman.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I remember leaving the theater with my dad and my brother and still feeling, at 10 years old, like, that was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me Joker. And as you can see, I'm a lot happier.
The movie's interesting. I mean, it's extremely good though, even despite the fact that he's wearing a rubber suit he couldn't move in.
Right.
Christian Bale was a better Batman. I'm gonna be happy to admit that all day.
I do like those movies better too. But again, it's one of those formative things. Nobody had done that before. Nobody had done superheroes or done dark superheroes like that. That was a thing. Yeah.
Batman's an incredible film when you look at it from an influence standpoint. And that's just, I think, when we talk about the Ninja Turtles game we're about to get into, they actually line up pretty well. Because the Ninja Turtles game, while, it's difficult, does have a lot of elements to it that get used over and over and over again in future gaming. It does have, it's another one of those games like with almost like Earthworm Jim, where while it has its detractors largely in difficulty, its pros are massive in the sense that they really thought of doing stuff no one else did. Love them or hate them, this is why Konami basically is a company now, is this game.
Yeah.
So
well, it's hard for me to see this game separated from my fandom at being 10 years old and just wanting something that felt like the TV show and then getting this. And I definitely felt like when things showed up from the TV show, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's Bebop. Or, oh, that's cool. It's a giant Mauser or whatever. But when it was other stuff, it totally lost me as a kid. And I still harbor that feeling of just like disappointment, I think. And it's so hard for me to see past that.
Truthfully, what I would call the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, which is the arcade game they ported over to Nintendo, is perfect. That one lines up exactly with the TV show. It makes much better, and they've had much more much, much better releases post this. Again, I'm taking this game more in the sense of if you realized the game was made before the TV show came out, it's like, it's a bit more acceptable.
It makes sense. Like, it makes sense. I can rationalize it. But yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise it feels weird. But let's
otherwise it's super weird. But yeah, let's get into the good, the bad, and the hilarious. And why don't I kick us off with some hilarious stuff? Because there's definitely some hilarious things. Like we talked about, like, what the heck are these enemies? Why are there flying things in the sewer? Why are there bombs and missiles from like robotic enemies that you kill and then their heads fly around? You know, like that has nothing to do. Like, okay, if you look at the cartoon, then Kang had some weird tech stuff going on, sure, but come on, and like barely
there's no
any of
Kang
these,
in this game.
There's no Kang in the game. Yeah. And then on top of it, the few soldiers that were supposed to go, oh, those are the Foot, are just these unicolor blob men. Yeah. Who stand up slowly when you get close to them. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, you do have the ninjas too. You have like the 2 or 3 purple ninjas.
Yeah, there's a few of those, but like most of the people, I guess they're foot soldiers, but like, okay, now you've got like Chainsaw Massacre showing up. I don't get it. But like the other characters, like Bebop shows up, cool, right? Rocksteady shows up, cool. Shredder shows up, he gets, I don't know, teleported by a lightning beam at the boss fight at the end. Just like, Shredder.
He's gone.
And then he's got a gun. Shredder has a gun. I don't think he barely even has any weapons he holds because he just uses the blades on his armor in the show, right? But now he's got a gun, so I guess that's cool. But yeah, other weird stuff like missiles and bombs flying all over the place. Also, the turtles at some point get into their turtle rocket-powered blimp and fly away.
I have some strong opinions on that blimp.
So I don't know where they have the finances for. I mean, maybe this is a Batman thing where they're like, oh, they're like superheroes, so they get some cool vehicle.
No, they stole the blimp, but then spray painted their logo on the side of it.
So they're criminals.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
They don't pay for pizza.
Right. Oh, that's true. That's true. They do steal the pizza. Well, okay, but I guess we'll have to go back and watch the show and know exactly. And the first movie is phenomenal. I loved the first movie, but that's a whole other thing. But anyway, speaking about things that show up on a TV set, in this game, Shredder talks to you on a TV set. And I wrote down the quote so I can read it exactly word for word because it's even better when I read it.
It's so bad.
This is Shredder. Listen to me, Turtles. We have taken Splinter. To get him back, you must defeat the Foot Clan. We're waiting for you. Ha 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 ha. Now, you have to remember that this wasn't just being sent to them in like a recorded message that they put on a screen and watched. This was being broadcast on a television set at the time, which means everybody saw Shredder's dumb face saying, listen to me, Turtles.
I took it a different way. I assumed he sent them a VHS or Betamax tape and they were watching it.
I don't know. I mean, I can go back and look at the part again, but I'm pretty sure they're in that apartment and
just on the TV.
The TV just shows up, right? And so I was like, oh, well, he hacks the TV,
that's a good point.
Kind of like the Joker does and some of the Joker stuff, talking about Batman. But then, okay, so if you don't know who this dude is, he shows up on your TV and says, listen to me, Turtles? Who is he talking to? What is even going on?
You're right, because it's not like this is a post-apocalyptic thing and he's this international crime lord. It's just,
no.
Hey, why is there a dude on TV with a metal thing on his head?
Right. Talking to turtles. Going on here? What is even going on? Yeah, I don't get that at all. Also fun little things like when you save Splinter, he's like hanging up on this rope thing and you're like, oh no, Master Splinter's caught and he's all tied up in the rope. And then the rope disappears and he just floats down like an angel descending from the heavens. Those are my like hilarious moments. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way. The fact that, as I said, the game came out before the show, they just had to put stuff in there. So we had Hercules beetles for no reason.
Yeah.
The crawling eye thing.
Yep.
The dude that when you kill him, his head flies at you.
Why? Yes.
Flame Man, is what I'm gonna call him, where his leg comes off. And then my favorite one is Jumping Boomerang guy.
Yeah, back to our other episode about boomerangs, the end of the 80s and boomerangs being in everything. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this game is really 90% of the game is just side-scrolling ninja game against generic opponents, but it's funny. Flying rays, there's no reason for this. One of my favorites is, I think it's the second to last boss, is a giant dinosaur, or maybe it's a bird, and it just has laser eyes. It doesn't move one bit. It stays completely still.
Is that the big Mauser? I think that's the big Mauser.
You're right. It's a Mauser.
It's a Mauser. It looks like a dinosaur, but it's like, and the little Mausers don't look like they do in the cartoon. So the big one actually looks kind of more like they do in the cartoon, but I don't remember there being a giant one in the cartoon. So yeah, you could, I mean, if you didn't know, you might just be like, I don't know, it's a dinosaur or something.
Yeah, it's not explained well, and you have to jump up and punch it in its uvula. That's how you destroy it. It makes no sense. My favorite one is
you physically cram it down its throat. Just like, ugh.
Well, and my favorite one, and you mentioned it, but I want to dive a bit more into it. At one point, after I think rescuing Master Splinter, Shredder escapes in a helicopter. So to track him down, they infiltrate an airbase and steal a blimp, which they then use to attack the Foot Clan hideout in a blimp.
Yeah, but it's already got their like Turtles logo on the side, and it's completely green.
Maybe part of their stealing process is they bring a bunch of spray paint, and
they tag it first, and then they get it, and then fly away.
But my favorite part of the game is, of course, boomerangs, because this is just a staple of these early Nintendo games. My point gets made true. The boomerang, the ultimate Nintendo game. You had to have a boomerang, and the boomerang is always the best ranged weapon. It is in this, it's in Castlevania, Legend of Zelda. Every time you can use a boomerang, you use a boomerang. Mega Man 2, use a boomerang. It's the better thing. It hits more and does more damage.
And it comes back every time to your hand.
Yeah.
Unlike a real boomerang.
I guess if you're in a really, really big field, maybe, and you run. But that's enough of the kind of like hilarious and the weird. Let's talk about bits that actually were well done in the game, Tom, because there is quite a bit of good. So I'll let you start.
I think you probably think there's more good than I do, but okay.
I probably do.
My first note on here is wait, there's good. Semi joke, JK. But I get what they were going for. Like this to me feels a lot like I mentioned it earlier, Ninja Gaiden, but you can be 4 different characters. And there's no like clinging on to the sides of things. You're able to jump really high, which is useful most of the time, but not all. We'll get to that. Oh yeah, you can't just make that jump. That's right. Also, there's kind of this map that you choose to work your way through. You don't have to go in every single little, sewer opening or doorway that you can go into, but you can kind of shortcut it certain ways, which is kind of cool because that feels pretty unique for this era. There's also numbers on the levels. I'll give them this. Like you go into certain levels and you'll see like a number, like this is sewer 3. And then you go in the next one, it's sewer 4 or whatever. Okay. Also, I mean, when the actual Ninja Turtle stuff shows up, like I mentioned before, when you see actual stuff from the show, that even today, this last week playing through it, but like today more recently.
Yeah.
Seeing that stuff in the game made me go, oh yeah. I got that like, oh yeah, I remember liking that. Yeah, like that feeling, But that's about as far as it went for me. But maybe you can convince me of maybe some of the other good things.
Yeah, I look at it more maybe almost esoterically. So first off, the fact that I can flip the turtles out, the hot swapping of my characters, I thought was massive. And this is way ahead of its time. And not only the hot swapping, but also a reason to do it. So each of your turtles have different abilities in power, length, and what have you. It's like Donatello has his long bow, and he was great for killing things that were far away from you or on the floor above you because there's a no clipping mode that's always on his staff. Works for him.
Guess so.
Leonardo was doing high damage against tougher opponents. Raphael is great for tearing through low toughness opponents with speed. Michelangelo is basically the same, with a bit more range.
Yeah, he's just less angry. He's just the funnier of the two.
Well, he was my favorite as a kid. I loved Michelangelo. He was my favorite, and so playing the game again, I was like, "Well, we're doing this."
Sneak attack. Another fun fact. Oh, out of nowhere, coming out of the shadows like a ninja. Did you know in the original concept for the movie, which was going to be a Hallmark film?
Oh,
that's the thing. It was going to be on Hallmark on cable, I guess. And in the original pitch for the movie, Michelangelo was blind because of the reference back to Daredevil. Even though Michelangelo is not blind in the comics, they were going to make him blind.
He also made the Sistine Chapel. It'd be really weird to have the guy who made the Sistine Chapel be blind.
That's true. That's true.
Oh
Yes.
God, some people have terrible ideas.
Yes. Also, other fun little fact about the Hallmark Channel concept of the film: Shredder was still going to be the villain, but we were going to find out that he was their long lost brother.
That's all I got.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Why would you? This is what they were doing with these movies in the late 80s and the 90s when they were taking like video games or other things and turning them into movies. They were just like, oh, let's just change a bunch of random crap for no reason. Like, what? Oh, I guess he's underneath all that armor. He's a turtle, I guess, or a human guy who didn't mutate into a turtle. I don't know. I don't even know how any of that works.
I also did like the level design. Yes, it's hard, but this was actually an open world game when you look at it. I mean, so is Zelda, but that's rare. They really did this game. I look at it more as from an influence standpoint. And when I look at this game, I play this game, I keep seeing elements in games I'm still playing today, which I really, really like and I think are really interesting. So that's where most of the stuff I liked about it was good. I also will admit that the game wasn't perfect. And we're going to get to the bad in a second. But I will say one thing it did influence on a good was actually with its bad. This game got rave reviews with one caveat popping up over and over again. And that was the difficulty. In fact, one of the Japanese magazines said the difficulty made it was just too high to make the game enjoyable. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. My memories are incorrect. I'm 1 second in. But over and over again, people kept the reviews said, oh, the difficulty's an issue, but I love the game. And I think that was a nice lesson for a lot of other later games to come out and say, hey, difficulty actually can work against you. People aren't looking for this incredible challenge. Right. I'm probably reading between lines that may not even exist, but I want to believe that this game, and Battletoads we'll cover later, did influence people to say, hey, if you're going to write a really good game, don't make it so everyone rage quits it.
It's not just hard. It's not like it feels like they didn't do enough actual play testing to me. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Because there are moments where it's hard, but like a Dark Souls game, if you just slow down and you take things one enemy at a time, you can make your way through the stages and you're fine. But there are other moments where it's just not fair.
No.
Like, I mean, the dam is the moment. Swimming around, you have a timer, you have a ton of things that can do damage to you. The little electric beams pop up and disappear and barely give you a window to get past them. And then you got to disarm all the stuff. And if you don't do it enough time, you're dead. If you take enough damage, you're dead. It is a solid stopping point for a lot of people.
I never got past that as a child.
Yeah.
That level. But yeah, I mean, let's just jump into the bad, because we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about probably the same stuff in the bad. I think there's gonna be a theme here, but I'll have you go first on what was bad.
Yeah, my first bullet point is everything else, but again, I'll be more specific. The worst part to me is the number of times they give you a jump that just feels impossible or just completely not fair. So the one I sent you a screenshot of is this little jump, but you're close to the top of the screen. So every time you jump from the edge of it, if you just hold down the button slightly too long, you bump your head on the ceiling and then you fall past and you don't make it to the... I spent 6 or 7 attempts to make it past this and totally noped out and didn't play it the rest of the day and had to come back the next day. There's no way. 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 There's no way to do it. It's impossible. So that was my experience on that jump. But then I found 2 other jumps that were equally frustrating. In fact, there's even one jump you get to where you go into a building and it's basically this impossible jump from one rooftop to the next rooftop. But then if you go into the building next to it, you come out the other side where you would have landed. I have no idea why that stage is designed like that. It doesn't make any sense. It looks like you're supposed to continue because there's maybe something over there and you go in the other door and you're like, oh, there's nothing here. There's just a jump off a building I can't make.
This game was not made by people who liked children.
They obviously didn't, because I was one of those children and I'm still harboring. I still
So
have
was
the
I.
wounds. Yeah. So also they packed in too many sprites into. I don't have a problem with lots of enemies on screen, but the NES can only handle so many sprites before everything gets blinky and glitchy and then slows down. And even in emulators, it still does that because they're emulating what the NES would have done with that many sprites, and it looks like garbage. Too many sprites on the screen. Oh. Level design is kind of lacking. Everything kind of starts to feel samey once you get into certain levels. Every level has kind of two tiers. Yeah. You go down one, you come back, you go around the other, and then you go up another ladder and go down another and come back another one. I mean, they're all very similar. Hitboxes aren't great. Sometimes they're overly generous. Like you just basically blink at an enemy nearby and they just kind of poof out of existence.
But I'll also say that, and unfortunately, it goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's one thing, like it's not in your benefit.
No.
Yeah.
No. Like sometimes you just go and you kill 5 enemies all with one chop. And then other times you come across something and it just hits you and you're like, I wasn't even near that. How did that happen?
Yeah.
So that's not great. Navigating in the world is a little bit annoying. I like the idea that the concept of like, it's an open map and you can kind of figure out where to go, but it's not great because it's really just kind of sectioned off into these little areas that you have to get into. And then you have like 2 or 3 options. And then if you run into a dead end, you have to kind of backtrack and figure out where you should have gone instead. That's not great. Also, did I mention the bad jumps? The jumps are bad.
I mean, it's Nintendo. That's the thing about Nintendo games.
Well, this wasn't even like your thing is like when the platforms move or blink out of existence, how frustrating that was.
Yeah, this
isn't even blinking moving platforms. They're just like the distance design for the momentum of your movement is just off.
Let's call it what it is. It's painful. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to align with you on the fact that, in retrospect, this game was really damn hard and not in an enjoyable way. This hurt. You've got, in my opinion, way too many enemies, and they spawn almost instantly. There's numerous
and they
times
respawn.
where they respawn where you go up a ladder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're coming back up. But one that drove me nuts is going up a ladder. So you have your screen shift and you shift screen and there's an enemy right there at the top of the ladder hitting you. And again, there's 2 buttons and neither of them are a block.
Right.
So your options are either to just get all the way out of the way, duck, or get hit.
Yeah, and the duck isn't even much of a duck. It's like a little kneel.
Yeah, so there's not much there.
Yeah.
You effectively just get whittled, even if you play the game conservatively and you move slowly, which is not really in my wheelhouse in general, but I had to do it a couple times, still just took immense amounts of damage because on the transitions you get hit. And these things just kind of whittle you down and whittle you down and whittle you down. All right. The jumping is probably the biggest issue here.
So you're saying the jumping is bad?
It's so bad because what happens is you don't actually jump. Like anyone, it's weird. I'm coming at this again. It's 2025. All right. I've been playing video games now for pushing 40 years. Not quite, but we're going to get there at some point soon. And I've been playing a lot of them over the last chunk of my life. So the way that I jump today from all the games you play, you kind of learn, here's the physics engine that they're using to make this jump possible. This game does not have a physics engine. This game, in fact,
it's not there at all.
You basically, what I learned later, I had to go online and look up advice because the jumps are more of a levitation than a jump. If you try to arc yourself, you actually will hit the ceiling or something else goes wrong. You actually do a very light jump, but apparently this guy can I don't know if it was a bunch of Ninja Warrior they were doing, but they have the ability to launch themselves almost horizontal in a jump. The one you were talking about,
right?
You sent me a screen grab and I'm like, oh yeah, just barely touch A and you'll get there.
Yeah, and I tried over and over again, and I don't know if it's playing it on an emulator with a different kind of controller. Maybe it's not as sensitive, or I don't know. I mean, this is a brand new nice controller, but yeah, I would just barely tap it and it'd still go too high, and I was just like,
But yeah,
can't do it.
I'm gonna. The worst part though is the damn level. Spelled without an N, but pronounced
level.
with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that level. Oh no. You go in the water, and for those of you who've never played this game, what happens is you go underwater and you have to find timers and turn the timers off. But it's not a linear level. Some of it you have to go backwards, and you have like, so you're going backwards, you're going this way, there's some below you, so you have to basically, and these are all screen changes. There's a timer, because you're going to run out of oxygen. But the biggest problem is that you're surrounded by electric kelp. Is the best way I can describe it. You touch it, you get zapped. Some people just straight up kill you too. And you have underwater electric laser beams that are going. This level, I don't know a lot of people who've beaten it, if I'm being candid, from when we were young. Now, nowadays, people do it. They're speed runners. They can tell you all the tricks.
Right.
But as a child, before there was internet, even like this before I had a Nintendo Power subscription, I had to guess my way through this thing. And I never saw beyond this level till this last week.
Yeah. I don't remember very well, but I do know that I saw some of the things after that level as a kid, which means either me or my brother got through it. I more remember being frustrated and having a difficult time, but maybe I came back a few years later when I was older and I was able to accomplish that at some point, because I definitely saw some of the stuff that came after that. And again, it was before you could have just looked it up on YouTube, and I don't think my friends were playing the game. So
we're going to tweak our questions a little bit. First, we're going to do questions. Question number 1 was it as hard as you remember it? And then question number 2, did you take any joy in playing it again?
Okay. For me, it was hard in some of the ways that I remembered, like the dam level, but then it was also hard in other ways that I didn't remember as much. Like, I don't remember the jumps being as frustrating as they were. That kind of stuff got me a little bit surprised, but other parts felt easier. Like when there were a bunch of enemies on the screen and I was just kind of taking my time working through them. I could kill them. I got through them. The bosses aren't that hard, like that kind of thing. So yes and no. I mean, yes, in some ways, but no in others. It definitely brought me back. There are things that I did not remember that I remembered. Like, I guess recall is a type of memory, but then also there's this other type of memory. I don't know. But yeah, some of the things, seeing them again made me feel things. And I was like, oh, okay. I so desperately wanted to like this game. And I tried so hard to love it. And it just would not love me back. It was like, nope, I'm done with you. Move on with your life. And I was like, no, take me with you. But nope, didn't want to.
I'll be candid. It was as hard as I remembered. And it was because I remembered specific areas being... The parts I remembered really well was the dam level. And I remember just constantly having all of my Ninja Turtles at one point having almost no health. I mean, just hot swapping and then them all dying back to back to back.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is I did take a ton of joy in playing it again because I beat it. I mean, I am a 44-year-old man, and I took genuine joy. This is further than I've ever been in this game in my life. Oh, I've literally never seen him before. This is a life achievement for me. I went upstairs. I had a nice glass of wine after beating this game for the first time in my life.
Celebratory drink.
I did. I celebrated. It wasn't as much as I celebrated years ago when I beat Super Mario 2 for the first time. But it's in that realm of like, this game took a lot out of me as a kid. And it was really nice defeating it. So that gave me joy. And I would say to all of our listeners, try it out. You may look at some of these games and say, man, that game sucked. It was incredibly hard and I never play it again. That's true. But if you beat it, you feel really good about yourself.
Or just don't try it out. Okay, so now that we've got that settled, we've got our challenge to get to. So don't go anywhere because this is a good one. But what are we doing next week?
Next week, we're going back into MS-DOS. We're playing another game that is incredibly influential. And I have high hopes that it doesn't suck because I haven't played it in 35 years or more. Wing Commander.
Okay, so this is a new one for me because I think I only saw this at a friend's house, but I had X-Wing, I had TIE Fighter, so I was into these types of games, but I didn't play the Wing Commander franchise because I was playing the Star Wars stuff instead.
And I'll be honest, it occurred to me something. I don't own a joystick.
Yeah, well, I guess you just have to use a thumbstick. Yeah, the thumbstick will just have to do it.
Or just the keyboard, I guess will have to be. It occurred to me after picking the game, I was like, I don't own a joystick. That was a standard thing.
Yeah,
All
people are
DOS
probably like,
players
what do
had.
you mean joystick?
Yeah.
Like an actual,
And
like...
we'll talk about it. Next week we'll talk about more. We all owned
Yeah.
these because
Yeah.
there was a whole series of games. Flight simulators were one of the biggest things. But yeah, we're gonna play regular or the very first Wing Commander, not Privateer, not Wing Commander 2, the first Wing Commander where I'm fighting the Kilrathi. I think that's their name. I haven't looked this up at all.
Sounds right enough. Okay, cool. Well, it'll be fun because I haven't actually played this. I've watched it, I've seen it, but I haven't actually tried it myself. So we'll do that. Now we're getting to the challenge, but before that, if you've enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe, and do all the things. Tell us if you've played this game recently, what your thoughts are on it, if it broke your heart as a 10-year-old child, any of that stuff. We'd love to hear your stories. You can always join us on the Robots Radio Discord. There's a whole bunch of shows. I run the Robots Radio Podcast Network. There's a bunch of shows about all sorts of kinds of things. You can also check out our other shows. John does the 40K Lorecast and the 40K, or History of 40K. So if you're into 40K Warhammer stuff, tons of great stuff over there. And then you can also check out the Fallout Lorecast, or the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, or the Lord of the Rings Lorecast. Those are my other shows, and you can just look them up. They'll show up. Most of these are on audio. Some of them are on video as well.
Let's talk about the challenge. So, what was your idea of a challenge?
Okay, so I wanted to see, like, oftentimes we'll just take something right at the beginning, right, and we'll just see what we can do right in the beginning. No multiple tries, just one try. And so with one attempt, who could get through the first sewer level with the most health left?
I did it with, I think, 6.5 blocks.
Crap. So I was at 6 blocks. So you beat me by half a block. Okay. All right.
And you know what I decided to do, Tom? Last week, you made me play a game called the Caveman Olympics. And you told me and our audience that you played it as a kid with your brother. And you thought it was a pretty fun game. And I want you to learn that you were wrong. So, get it. I decided we'll let you play this game and see if you can figure out half the levels, because all I could figure out was the wife toss.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
the only one I could master.
Caveman Games. I think the official title is Caveman Games, but Olympics is on there. Okay, so I'll go back and play it. You're right. I do remember playing this with my brother, which maybe means it's more. Anytime you play a game with somebody else, it's more fun than playing by yourself. But all right, I'll give it a try. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after I play this game, and we'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah. All right, Tom. How was reliving your youth?
Yeah, you're right. This game's not so good. How does this work? I'm just jamming my buttons. Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Sucks a lot.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, the nostalgia hit, right? Like going through each of these things, I'm remembering them as I'm going through it. And the way this is set up, go back and listen to John's explanation from the last episode from our what was it, Duke Nukem episode, because he had to play this first, and I got to watch some of your gameplay. But there are like multiple levels. It's like the Olympic Games, right? But it's like cavemen, and it's kind of funny, and they've got these little personalities. It's got some humor to it. Vincent was the smart one. I remember this. But the controls just kill all of it. There's only like 2 events where the controls even work at all. Everything else, I'm just like, it is rough, especially playing by yourself, because man, like most of them are button mashers, so you just got to jam on buttons a lot. And then most of the time when you hit the button to jump or something, it doesn't work or whatever. This is rough. Wait, don't I win? He got eaten.
I tried that pole vault thing at least 10 times. Didn't vault one time and just got mad. Is the wife throw and the make fire were the only 2 I could even functionally do.
Right. Yes.
And they were not easy to do.
Actually worked pretty good. Hey, I still got it. And even the make fire one, if the other player wins, it doesn't just end. You still have to finish it.
You still have to make your fire
going.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, no. So I get why my brother and I would have enjoyed this as kids, is because we just didn't have anything else. We rented the game, so might as well play it for the week, and we would compete against each other. But I also now remember that we only played the events that we liked. We very quickly learned that half the events are not even worth playing, so we would just play the ones we liked, and that was it. Oh, crap. All right, that's it. And we're done. No more caveman games. Bye-bye.
That's why I laughed, because when you said, "Oh yeah, I thought I'd like it," my first, second, and third thoughts were, "No, you didn't."
Nope.
No, you
Nope.
didn't.
Yeah, bad controls. So there you go. But that's going to do it for this week, talking about Ninja Turtles. We're talking about Wing Commander next time, and we're going to have another challenge, see who has to play a really crappy game. So to wrap this up, John, what did we learn this week?
Apparently, jumping's really hard.
And with that...
Retro Recall.